My name is Brett Jones. I'm the owner of a security company here in Huntsville called Riley Security. I'm a former Navy SEAL and ex-GRS agent with the CIA.
So I'm Chakri Deverapalli. I am a member of the UAH staff. I am especially in the business school. I'm the director of IT here, and also I teach in the information systems program.
The preparation that we did leading up to this, I think about a month before we actually, were homeless, we stopped shaving. It happened to be November, so it worked out great. So it was like no shave November.
It worked out that it was November, so we stopped shaving and we stopped pretty much, cutting hair or anything. I think towards the last week of October. I think this is pretty much the most beard I ever had in my life. So we wanted to immerse ourselves in the entire experience, as in starting now, this is probably going to be anywhere from 72 to 96 hours. We're going to walk out with $5 in our pocket, pretty much all we got. And we got no food on us. We got some clothes, we got some sleeping bags, and we're going to live off the streets.
How do we do it? It's like, yes! We had met with Huntsville Police Department, a gentleman by the name of Sgt Ware, because obviously, I own a security company and I don't want to break any laws. So we've tried to figure out a way of doing this without breaking any laws. I had a sign that said homeless vet, and it couldn't ask for anything, or otherwise it would be a form of panhandling. How difficult is it to be homeless and not break the law?
I would say it's extremely difficult. I think generally society looks at certain behaviors and they're like, well, that's not a big deal. And I'll give you a really basic example. You see a man standing on the corner and he's got his sign. Depending on what his sign says, he may be breaking the law.
It was very enlightening and heartbreaking at the same time to know that you cannot technically be homeless without breaking a law.
If a car pulls up and I reach out to take money from that car,
The minute you are on some private property asking for it, you're already breaking the laws. If he pulled up and said, "Can you pull into the parking lot? I can't take it here," he's not going to pull into the parking lot.
He's going to think that he's about to get robbed.
Yeah.
Everything from sleeping in a public park to sleeping in a parked car.
So I can say, I can't come to get the money, but can you throw it to me?
no, well, this is the other thing. Yeah, now we just got somebody else in trouble.
Because if you have to leave the library and you have to go to a place out on University, you're going to, of course, stop 2 or 3 times along the way and you're going to rest. And sometimes we get calls for them. They may be trespassing, they may be seen to be loitering and panhandling, things like that. We pass laws with good intentions, that make sense in mainstream society.
It's incredibly difficult to be homeless and not break the law. And I'm curious to see how that's going to affect this whole next 4 days.
I mean, our first stop was to walk us way to Manna House.
How you doing, brother?
Good, how are you?
Doing really
Is it okay
good.
if I get a bag?
Yeah, you can get. You want a bag? You want a box?
I'll just take a bag.
Okay. You can get as many as you want.
You know, you start with empty bags, or if you want, or you can bring your own bags. We didn't have any, so we got a couple of Walmart bags, and then you can pick and choose what you want to fill up your bag.
How you doing, brother?
All right, can I get a bag?
You can get any bag. If you want some corn, you can get 2 things of it.
The line started with some canned food. I think it had canned beans, canned corn, and then slowly it went to, what I was surprised was the next thing was dates.
Essentially, one of my favorite fruits, dates.
Can I have some? I'll take some.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dates usually are pretty expensive. When we get through this supply chain, then there is a room number 2, which was kind of full-blown meal.
How are you doing today, sir?
Good.
We have peanut butter and jelly, bologna, ham.
They had pre-packaged to-go boxes of food. We got our food, we got out, we ate right there on the steps of the animal clinic.
They gave us so much food, it was crazy.
They're dang expensive.
Dates are?
Yeah. Dates are really expensive.
But we're trying to do a healthy hot meal that gives you enough food to get through the night. Got a lovely little casserole with fruit, green beans, and always got to have dessert, right, Miss Dorothy? So Manna House is a result of a community's need, and we just decided we were going to help feed people. So a group of us started buying food and feeding people in the community, and it just kind of grew. Churches jumped on board and said, hey, we want to be a part. Schools jumped on board and said, we want to be a part. Honor Society, different people started coming in and helping and serving, and as the need grew, the community met that need.
Okay. He's okay.
I love people, and I think that God gave me this passion in my heart to feed people. I'm always feeding people, and I thought it was just a call from me. And one day, the Lord gave me this little vision, and I've never had but 2 visions in my whole life, but I clearly saw myself, and I saw this little boy, and the little boy was a red-headed little boy who was playing in the dirt, and the Lord said, we feed my people. He said, no, I want to be an engineer. And then the Lord showed me. And I remember the dress. It was a navy and green gingham dress. And my hair was in a ponytail, and I was playing in the dirt too. And the Lord said, will you feed my people? And I said, sure.
Where are you guys from?
I'm from Tennessee.
Oh, yeah?
Nashville.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Nashville, Tennessee, man.
And the Salvation Army, I had no idea that they have these beds, and I believe they told me they have 40 beds back there.
Yes, look, walk all the way back, man, you'll see all them people lined up. Now, once you check in, you can't leave until 4:30 in the morning. They wake your ass up here at 4:30 in the morning.
They'll let you sleep there for a night, even if you don't have an ID. But after a night, you need to go get your ID at the library. Before you check in, they'll give you a breathalyzer test.
Okay.
One of the guys we were talking to, he actually was offering Brett a job for tomorrow to go do some roofing work.
Where is it? I'm not familiar with the city.
About 2 main roads up is Oakwood.
Okay.
Because it was our first time there, they wanted us to fill out some information sheets.
I'll go. And we're going to go to the library tomorrow to get IDs.
Okay, so y'all have never been here before?
Yeah.
That's when we felt like we went far enough to get the experience.
You know what? Ma'am, I'm sorry. We're not going to stay here. I'm not going to stay here. Thank you, though.
Today, I think we just looked at our pedometers. It was, 13.6 kilometers. So give or take, we are 1.5 kilometers shy of 15K. So tomorrow we think we're probably going to at least do 2 times, if not 2.5 times what we did today.
There was a little bit of tossing and turning. I know Chakri had a little bit of trouble with his sleeping bag because his zipper broke.
So the zipper, the side zipper on the sleeping bag, we didn't realize that was busted.
He had no zipper, so I don't think he had a very comfortable night last night.
About 3:30 is when I started dozing off. I mean, I didn't get cold, but I just couldn't sleep.
How you doing?
Alrighty, what do you
How do you make this work, man?
Easy, just push it.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
but isn't there some places where you gotta like it just doesn't work?
No, I told him that what we need to do is put a motor on the mother.
I had $4 at that time, and I went in and I asked the lady, I said, what is the cheapest cup of coffee you got? And she went back and poured me a big cup of coffee and gave it to me, and gave me the sign like, it's on me.
And when I got there, he's like, well, she just gave me a free cup of coffee. And I didn't really want to ask her for another free cup of coffee, so I said, can we have a cup to share? And she filled my cup up. I guess in the back of my head, I was expecting maybe people will start kind of drifting away from us.
People started coming up to us and just giving us money.
A lady just comes, I guess she's walking out of Starbucks with her kid, and she just slides a $10 bill in front of me. And before I can even turn around, she was gone. I mean, she was at the door with her kid.
I never have any cash with me, but I did today because my friend had paid me back for something, and I thought, wow, maybe that's the Lord just showing me that I can do something, I guess we just see more and more the way our country has been headed, that we don't appreciate our servicemen and women, period, and so we're trying to teach the children. I have 2 older ones, that to pay for their meals, to do those things, to just say thank you, and I asked her while we were sitting at the table, and then when we were walking out, she was like, no, and then when we were walking out, she pulled me over and was like, Mommy, but you have to do it, and so that shows me a little glimpse that it's working, that her little heart is turning towards service and serving others, because this world is not about us, it's about other people.
I guess the generosity just snowballs from there.
There was a lady, and she was asking me if I had slept outside last night, and I said that I did. She went and bought us food. She went up and bought us some couple breakfast sandwiches, and she brought them out to us.
First, and I just thought, well, this is a small gesture. I mean, since I am one who can pay $5 freaking for my coffee, just a small gesture to get them a hot sandwich, which I always like to start the day with coffee and a sandwich, so I figured they were probably ready for a sandwich.
And then this lady came. The next thing we know, she comes out with 2 gift cards. She said, there's one for each of you. I think she was about to lose her job in a week.
Her sick son called and said the dog was throwing up. So this woman had a whole lot going on.
In all that's probably going through in her head, she still had room to think about somebody else.
I was starting to feel guilty because people are giving me money. I'm not even really homeless.
We said, okay, we're just gonna get up and go.
I hope your son feels better, and the dog too. Dude, I literally am feeling guilty as like all this money that these people were giving us, man.
We left and we went out through the back alley, around to the back alley out of Starbucks, and the manager of the store came out and sort of kind of chased us down. Hey guys, can I give you a box lunch to take with you? Can I, I've got some food over here that you guys can have. It was just, I mean, it just wouldn't stop.
No, man, I feel bad. Like, you guys have just been incredibly nice to us already. I mean, like, everything. No, thank you. Like, I'll give you a hug right now if it wasn't weird, but thank you very much.
Like, the love and the compassion that these people were just pouring on us. They had no idea we had cameras. They had no idea that they were being watched. It was just people being amazing.
It's like you hit the jackpot. I mean, it's like you hit the lottery.
It made me love the fact that I live in this city. Our intention for going to the library was actually to get an ID card. So we went to the library, and unfortunately, their ID process is not open on Fridays.
They said that the organization that helps today, they're gone for the day. Then Brett said, well, we just want to get in the mission, and, can you at least give us a note saying that we at least tried to get an ID today, and it's not our fault that we don't have it.
She gave me the phone number and the extension of their executive director, because she would be the one that would be able to make that magic happen that quickly.
Of the 12 locations in the library system, ours is the largest, and we do have a fairly large homeless population that uses this branch. They use us for public computers, we have free Wi-Fi, and it's also just a safe place to be during the day. Our hours are from 9 to 9, so it's the longest hours out of also any of the locations in the county too. When you come here, you still do have like a newspaper to read. We have magazines that you can read. A lot of homeless will just, pick up a book off the shelf and read it, and that's some entertainment that'll keep them busy for the day until it's time for the shelter to open up again in the evening.
Are you a veteran?
Yep.
What branch?
Army.
What's your name?
Jim.
Hey, Jim. I'm Brian.
Nice to meet you, Brian.
Yeah. This is Sam.
Nice to meet you, Sam.
So when were you in?
I was in 77, Army National Guard up in New Jersey.
Really?
Jobs for vets to help you get your DD 214. That's what they did with me.
I thought, how would it look, if I tried to hitch a ride? Nobody would look at me. I mean, there was one guy who looked at me, and I said, can I get a lift? And he pointed back at me, as in, you're standing in a bus, use the bus. Brett introduced himself and talked to him for a little while. Brett was doing all the talking. I was just, watching.
So he asked me a bunch of questions and asked me straight up if I had any addiction problems. And, I had decided prior to this that if people asked me that, I would tell them that I had a gambling addiction. And then I would also say that I had a post-traumatic stress disorder. Initially tried to find me help here locally for a gambling addiction. Just pulled out his phone immediately and started trying to tried calling a friend that he knew that had a lot of connections here in the area. He wasn't going to be able to help us that day. He said, but come Monday, we will get you on track, man. We'll start working, getting you a job, getting you a place to live. Again, another example of an outstanding organization within our Huntsville community reaching out to people who I care very much about, and that is our veteran community.
Right next to Aldi and right before the dollar store, they're next to each other, but there was a little small spot, that was available for lease.
And we thought, that's perfect, because people got to walk right by us on either side, yet we're not, holding up anyone's specific business. People were just incredibly generous. They would come by. A lady came up and she was kind of cute about it and handed a dollar bill to Chakri and said, "There's one for you, and there's one for you." And, you know, handed me $1. Oh, that was really cool.
I noticed that he had a homeless vet sign-up, and I know that's a huge problem across America with homeless vets. Me being a veteran myself, I just felt that I needed to take care of one of my brothers or sisters. So I just went over and I said, "Hey, are you a vet?" And he said, "Yeah." So I just gave him some money. Maybe he can get him a meal or a place to stay tonight. So I thought it was important. I was raised that way too, so yeah. So that was my interaction.
And then another guy came and again walked right past me, goes to Brett, gives him $1 and walks off. I'm saying that to also say that probably if I was a real homeless guy, then my next thought would be, Brett got $10 for having a veteran on his card.
So our plan was to go into the mission and have dinner there.
We got there and the guy said, you can either take a to-go box or you can sit here and eat.
We have an overnight shelter for men, and then we have an overnight shelter for women, and then we have a area for moms and kids, and then we have a program for women and a program for men. We served about 280,000 meals last year. Our beds, this is how we say it, our beds were slept in 80,000 times. It's black, Hispanic, white. You know, we've had every religion come through here. You know, every sexual preference come through. We are open for, we're known as an open door mission. We let everybody come in. They can be stumbling drunk and come into our doors. We want to make sure that they're taken care of. They don't have to worry about food or the shelter or the heat being turned on or clothing. And even by the end, a lot of them, we have them go work at our thrift stores to start making money. So we have the whole range of things that they need. Come here and we'll take care of you. And we'll help you get back on your feet.
It's pretty scary. I mean, I know people think, you know, it's like camping. No, it's really not camping. You know, you're sleeping unprotected from the weather and anything else.
You only have $1? The weather was starting to turn. Like, it hadn't rained in a month here in Huntsville yet. Obviously, the day that we're homeless, it starts raining. So we decided that we were going to try and build a shack that we could live in. And we found a dumpster with a bunch of stuff in it, and we decided to use these materials to try and build a shack. And we did, actually, surprisingly, a pretty good one.
So we have fantastic walleye.
We found this. As you can see under here, this structure was already built in the dumpster down there. We got to still figure out what we're going to do if the rain comes this way.
You want to do everything you can to keep yourself dry, because once you get wet, and I can speak from experience, that once you get wet, things get miserable quick, and they stay miserable for a long time, especially when you're hungry, when you're cold, you're wet, you're tired. All those things together, it makes for a pretty miserable experience.
We just pretty much bunkered down. I think, you know, we were just talking for a while and then took a nap and then talking and then finally fell asleep. was raining. It was still drizzling. It was not pouring down rain, but it was drizzling a bit. So we had these little ponchos from the dollar store we bought in the prep. So we were wearing those ponchos and walking on the University Drive going towards Parkway. So as we were walking, there's this one car that kind of sees, turns around, comes back and cuts us off and is waiting for us. A lady steps out. We thought, okay, she might give us $1 or something.
She comes running up to us.
What's that?
She wanted to help us out, and so she gave us these 2 really, really nice ponchos.
Are you sure about that?
She's like, here, put this on. And then she saw that the other one was still without a raincoat, and she was wearing one, and she just peeled it off her back and she just gave it.
Do you work for somebody, or what's that? Are you serious? Can I give you a hug? Thank you.
So she asked us where we were going, and I think we explained her that we're going to this church where we heard that they were going to give us free food.
So we told her what time the service starts, and if she's there, we'll meet up with her.
So she said, well, you know, I'm going to go back, pick my grandson up, and come back.
Can I give you a big old hug? And I will be taking the hug.
I want a double hug. There you go.
Oh, you are such a sweet woman.
I will see you good for life in
Okay.
just a little while.
That was, I mean, the generosity of the people, man. I mean, it's just, I mean, just thinking about it, just even now, it just gives me goosebumps.
That's the way that this community is here in Huntsville. These people that don't have anything or barely anything to give do. A gentleman apparently saw us walking from the roadway and pulled in, got out of his car, and came running up to us and asked us if, you know, where we're from. And we had this story where we were from Chicago, and, you know.
Where y'all going? So we're thinking down towards somewhere warm like Florida.
Look, man, dude, I ain't seen nobody with packs in a long time, so I had to, like, I was headed that way to the university. I saw you, I was like, hell no.
I'm Brian, man.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Sam.
Sam, nice to meet you.
We started talking to the guy, and he said, you know, that he was homeless for a while, and now he came back and to be with his family and so on and so forth. So he understood the pain.
We talked for a little bit, and then before we left, he asked us if we wanted some pot.
We said no. He's like, no, I don't want any money, you know. I'm just trying to help you out, help you guys out.
No, we're set, man.
You good? Yeah, I mean, I'll just give y'all some.
No, actually,
sure.
Yeah, we're
all right, man. Y'all have a good day.
We're good to rock it, man.
Yeah, y'all have fun, man. Good luck.
Right,
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
I guess if we remove the fact that it was weed that they were offering, but it was still the generosity that, you know, to me that was amazing.
Thank you.
Good morning. Well, there you go. The Spirit of the Lord has already descended, and our band is talking in tongues. Happy birthday, dear Deborah. Happy birthday to you.
This is not a church where you don't see the, you know, perfectly dressed suit and tie people. This is not the church where people are trying to have a private security route the traffic.
You could just feel love in that room.
Oh, what did Saul do? He persecuted Christians. Absolutely. He was a terror to Christians. Now, if you finish.
You know, you're not going to find everybody that's comfortable in as a diverse environment as we have. We often are referred to as a church for homeless people. And it's like, I would suggest that anybody that goes to church is kind of homeless in some way or the other. You know, whether it's feeling spiritually washed away, perhaps, or isolated.
But it's so much easier just to come to church and sit in a pew and say, I'm a Christian, right? And hey, God, you noticed I was sitting in the pew, right? So, Lord, why haven't you answered my prayer?
If the faith I profess is that God loves all of us as we are, then that's my call, is to, when somebody comes in, to meet them where they are, and we'll learn from each other. So that's what I try to do.
But you see, Israel is even insisting that she has God for the directions and the answers, but actually she's not patient enough to hear.
In the church even goes to the homeless shelters and they drive people back and forth, and these people who don't have anything would still donate money, and wouldn't be much, but to them it was everything. It was really neat. And I know it wasn't Hanukkah, but they lit the menorah, at least the first 6 candles, I believe it was, of the menorah.
I've been advocating for homeless for 30 years. I used to be out, had more time and was a lot younger, would go out on the street and in the woods and find people and just check and build a relationship with them, which is why a lot of them chose to come, because actually they had trust in me.
They have the trust of their congregation to the fact that these people, in their worst of their times, are coming to this place and still are open. Or I guess what I'm saying is, most oftentimes we don't want other people to know our vulnerabilities. Or, hey man, my check bounced last week. Or, hey man, I'm in need of this, I'm in need of that.
One of our congregants came to us right out of prison, and he wants work. Well, he's just come out of prison, so what does it require? What is it? People say, get a job. Well, you make a bad choice, you end up paying for the choice you made, and you want to become productive. Well, you don't have an ID. You don't have a permanent address.
You don't have a clothes.
You don't have a phone. You don't have the proper clothes, and you don't have transportation. And so we were able to help with some of that. And we've been celebrating those steps along the way. And he came in today, and he's got a bad leg. There's a problem with his leg, and he's waiting to find out what it is. And I said, well, you've got to let me know what's going on. And I handed him my card that has my home address. I said, you're going to call me when you get the diagnosis. And he said, well, yeah, you're my family.
And they're helping people, welcoming them with open hearts and open arms, no matter what you have or don't have.
How they're able to go out and get these people and bring them in, and they feed them. They give them lunch, they give them breakfast.
I think it's important that we do away with the stereotyping of what homeless is, especially in churches. Every person in a leadership role except myself and our board chairman and our technical individual, both of our deacons and both of our elders have experienced homelessness in some way. And so they understand. We have try to have a We're not always successful in how patient we are and how non-frustrated we get, but we try to walk the walk. And that's important, I think. So.